Hey there folks, Radiant here, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies part of the Apollo Justice Trilogy. Thank you, Capcom Creators, for the code. Last part, we were continuing to investigate, and then things happened to Apollo. He's okay, well, recovering, but brought a whole new issue in the case, because of course it did. It's gonna be simple, right? But the judge has one question for us, because we're trying to prove, or disprove, the cart was over where Apollo supposedly wrote a word. Yes, Your Honor. If Mr. Justice didn't leave this message in blood, then who did? Huh? What? Oh. Well, looks like I should have taken that train of thought through to the last station. Well, I've heard a lot about this. This is Mr. Wright's famous bluffing technique, is it? The spilling. It brings back memories of the old days. Back when you carved out a name for yourself by bluffing your way through thick and thin. Gee, Mr. Wright, the judge kinda makes you sound no better than a two-bit con man. You made your argument with such confidence, Mr. Wright. Now I'd like to hear your answer with just as much confidence. Hey, until the judge asked the question, you didn't catch on either, Buster. Well, what now, boss? I hope you didn't bluff your way into a corner. Think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way through this. I have to dig my way to the truth, somehow. Who could have written that message in blood? The culprit. Apollo didn't leave that bloody writing. Maybe it was Apollo's attacker who wrote it and made it look like Apollo did? It seems like the most reasonable explanation. Wait a minute, I just realized something, boss. What is it? Look at the amount of blood in the photo. Doesn't look like Apollo blood very much. And that's impossible to write out words with just this much. Hey, you're right. Good thing Apollo didn't lose that much blood. That might be a factor in why he survived the assault. And since there was so little blood, that pretty much rules out his attacker, huh? Guess so, but if it wasn't his attacker, then who else could it have been? No, it was someone else then. If it wasn't Apollo, who could have left this bloody message? I'm going with it.
Take that!
This person left the bloody writing? And what do you base this claim on? Do I really need to base my claim on something? Boss! Of course you do. Don't tell me you don't have anything at all to back up your assertion. Nothing in particular, really. That won't do, Mr. Wright, but the penalty will make up for your deficiency very nicely. So it wasn't Apollo or his attacker. When you think about who was at the crime scene, there's only one other person who it could really be. Oh yeah, wasn't there another person who shed blood at the crime scene? Wasn't Apollo... Right.
Take that!
To be honest, I don't actually have any real proof of this. I've come this far. There's no turning back now. Besides Apollo, there was one more person who shed blood at this crime scene. A person who shed blood? You don't mean... No, but I do. I believe it was Candace Arm who left this message in blood. What? What? Detective Arm? Are you sure you know what you're doing here? Not really?
Objection!
What kind of ridiculous assertion is this? If you had said the attacker left a message to throw people off, it might have made sense. At first glance, that would seem to be the most reasonable explanation. However, Apollo didn't shed enough blood to write such an extensive message. I see. Even the photo makes it clear there wasn't enough blood to write all those letters. Mr. Justice did survive. I suppose he didn't bleed very extensively in that case. But why would the Detective Arm write the defendant's name? There is no connection between the two whatsoever. Even though the lady was killed, I admit the investigation didn't turn up any connection between the victim and the defendant. They had never even met each other. That's very true. Well then, let's see. Maybe the intended meaning of the message is not what it appears to be. The intended meaning? Not what it appears to be? Maybe the message was not intended to be woods? Coming from you, that's quite the bold statement, Mr. Wright. You wish to assert that this bloody writing could have some other meaning? Yes, Your Honor. Something I pulled out of a wormhole. It could turn out to be true, right?
Objection!
It clearly says woods, as anyone can plainly see. What other meaning could it possibly have?
Objection!
But Candace Arm was a detective. Maybe woods only means something to the police. Like a police scanner code, for example? I didn't think of that. You may have tricked His Honor, but you'll never get the best of me. I have a thing for studying on the weekends, as you may have already guessed. And there is no such radio code. It's woods in the state, dear Mr. Wright. Is that a fact? Don't look at me. I know as much as you do about police codes. Enough of this. I was quite taken with the defense's new theory. But if they can substantiate it with anything, then I must end things here. No, please wait, Your Honor. Very well, but before we discuss this theory any further, I demand a plausible explanation. Mr. Wright, what is the true meaning of the bloody writing? Well, I believe it's... And no stalling! If you can't come up with an answer quickly, I will declare this discussion officially over. I'm in trouble now. What other meaning could it have besides the obvious one? Maybe it means something in another language? Or maybe it's a code. Think, Phoenix. You can do this. Which piece of evidence will tell us what the word woods really means? Means something is in the woods?
Take that!
What exactly is your point, Mr. Wright? I thought this evidence was supposed to tell me woods, what woods really means. But doesn't it, Your Honor? Are you asking me or telling me? I guess I'll let you be the judge of that. Yes, I'll be judgy around here. But, may go over well. I just know there's something here that looks like the word woods. Try it again, shall we? Wait, there's a... Hold up, there's another letter. But the piece is missing. Is it?
Take that!
It's a transport case.
Take that!
The bomb transport case. I've had it up to here with your shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Take a look at the numbers on this case you're on. L10015R. Doesn't this look strangely familiar? L100... Oh, what does that have to do with anything? What could those numbers possibly have to do with the case at hand? Now please, take a look at the bloody writing shown in the crime photo. Oh, I think I see it! Got it, girl. That's one on my side. It says, woods. Or you could say it's a horse of a different color, Your Honor. The first character isn't a W, it's actually a L and a 1. The next two are zeros. Oh my goodness. The true meaning behind the bloody writing isn't Ms. Wood's name. It's the number engraved on this bomb transport case. Well, what are you talking about? The next part doesn't make any sense. Next number is 1, but the bloody writing says D.
Objection!
But the number on the case and the bloody writing can be made to match quite easily. This is how a number on the transfer case can be made to match the bloody writing. The S is a 5, right? One. Erase a line. Should be the part of the D, right? All you have to do is erase one line from the writing. Erase one line from where? Anywhere you like. Anywhere I like. Alright, I'll erase one of the zeros. What? And what is that supposed to mean? Your state of mind, I believe it stands for wise, optimistic, dauntless, and serene. Boss, what in the world? This is no time for a psychology test. I say my state of mind is exactly serene right now, Mr. Wright. I also turned on, like, allowing to skip so I could fast forward some of these slow lines. It's alright, please refrain from making these up as you go along. Let's try again. Two lines? Okay. Please erase the third downward stroke of the W and the curved part of the D. Well, would you look at that? L1001S? No, Your Honor. It's meant to be read as a word. Number L10015. Which, if you take away the final R, is the exact number, same number that's on the phone transport case.
Objection!
Erase two lines and I match up, you say? Well, I could change anything into anything else by simply erasing two lines. Let's erase two lines from your name. Would you be happy as Mr. Wright? Well, would you be happy, Mr. Wright? Would you, Mr. Wright? Only right spelling is right. Okay, I'm doing pretty well here, and I think I've drawn the right conclusion. Dev Arm's real message to us is the bomb transport case number. Your Honor, two lines were added by the real culprit to intentionally mislead people. What? The original message Detective Arm left behind was a transport case number. Whoever assaulted Apollo changed the message. If you're right, boss, then what do you suppose Detective Arm was trying to tell us? Good question. What does this number represent? Do you see this number here? That is my identification number. Candace Arm lost her life in a courtroom bombing. Her dying message could only have had one purpose. No! To tell us the name of the one responsible for the bombing. Well, don't keep us in suspense, Mr. Wright. Tell us who she was trying to name. The culprit that the victim was trying to identify is none other than... where I was trying to go earlier.
Take that!
Defense wishes to indict Mr. Ted Tonate on the charge of the courtroom bombing. Ted Tonate? Apparently, Salem Bob's isn't Mr. Tonate's only specialty. Somehow, the victim must have realized that he was the bomber. So, when she was caught up in the blast, she left his bomb transport number as her dying message. She used Mr. Tonate's own ID number to finger him for the crime.
Objection!
Why would anyone go out of their way to write an ID number? Wouldn't they simply write the person's name? Got a good point there. What to say to that, Mr. Wright? The only Detective Arm would know the answer to that, but allow me to offer a theory. Perhaps Detective Arm couldn't recall Mr. Tonate's name in the heat of the moment. As I recall, this was the first meeting between the two. It's entirely possible they wouldn't have been familiar with each other. Or maybe using the ID number was a way to hide its true meaning from the real culprit. That's only the odds that they would erase the bloody writing. But no matter what the reason, the important thing is the meaning behind her message. Facts remain, she wrote Mr. Tonate's ID number.
Objection!
Now, just one moment here. There has to be any proof yet that it was indeed Detective Arm who wrote it. Bloody writing wasn't found during the investigation after the blast. Detective Arm had left the message. It should have been found at that time.
Objection!
Naturally, Mr. Tonate hid it before anyone could discover it. And there's a simple explanation for how he was able to do so. What? Mr. Tonate was able to cover up the message because he's the first to find the body. First person to discover the bloody writing was Mr. Tonate himself. I was the first one on the scene after the explosion. I went there to ensure safety, but I ended up discovering a dead body. When Mr. Tonate saw that the victim had written his ID number, he used the bomb transport case to cover up the bloody writing as a stopgap measure. Oh, so that's why a message in blood was under the transport case. He didn't have enough time to try and scrub away the writing. He didn't report the body right away, he would look suspicious. So slurs lived on to serve another function. Mr. Tonate used them in another incident. Oh, the assault of Mr. Justice. Exactly. Mr. Tonate hit upon a plan to use the bloody writing for his own purposes. Didn't clean it away. Instead, he made it look like Mr. Justice wrote it. By adding 2 lines to the word writing that Detective Arm left behind, he changed the meaning of the message. He made it look like Mr. Justice was accusing Ms. Woods of the attack. So that means the only person who could have altered the bloody writing was the courtroom bomber, who was the same person that assaulted Mr. Justice. And that person is Ted Tonate. Ah! Order in the court! Order, I say! It looks like we will have to hear from the bomb specialist himself. Mr. Payne, please have Ted Tonate take the witness stand. Yes, Your Honor. That was great, Mr. Wright. Just doing what I do best, which is flying by the seat of my pants. Dismantling the case is yours. Do you think you can handle it? I look forward to seeing you try. Finally drawing Mr. Tonate back onto the witness stand. Looks like you'll get your wish, Goggle Man. Now watch me take your lies apart. Mr. Tonate, I'm afraid we have a few more questions for you. I understand the situation, Your Honor. I was keeping a close eye on the proceedings from the gallery. The allegations are all laughable.
Objection!
I would be laughing if I were you, Mr. Tonate. The message in the blood matches your ID number. The same ID number that is there on the bomb transport case. Such a far-fetched theory, no better than a tangled ball of wires. I'll have them all untangled for you in no time at all. You were the first person on the scene after Detective Arm left her message in blood. You were the only one who could have hidden the writing and then used it again later. I see ×2, but then let me ask you, do you have any proof that Detective Arm wrote that message? That's a very good question. Well, do you, Mr. Wright? Best way to prove that Detective Arm wrote that message is to analyze the handwriting. Your Honor, I request a handwriting analysis be performed on the bloody writing. A handwriting analysis? I'm sorry, but that's just not possible. Huh? Unlike writing done with a pen, for example, a message written with a finger is difficult to properly analyze for unique characteristics. And with such a small sample, it'd be even more difficult to analyze. Ugh! There's gotta be another way. Fine! To prove Detective Arm wrote that message is to analyze DNA. Your Honor, I request that a DNA test be performed on the blood itself. Once we know whose it is, it will be obvious as to who wrote the message. Very well. Bailiff, please put in a request for a DNA test with the forensics team. Yes, Your Honor. It'll be some time before we have the results of the analysis. Until then, let's hear more from the witness. I would like nothing more, Your Honor. I want the court to hear how ridiculous the defense's theory is. After the explosion. I admit, I was the first one on the scene after the explosion. There was no bloody writing there at the time. Anyway, there is no way Detective Arm could have written it. She was struck her head on rubble and died near the courtroom entrance. She was too far away from where the bloody message was found. So you're saying that the victim's body was nowhere near where the writing was? Precisely. It is plain as day that she could not have written it. It's true that body was discovered near the entrance to the courtroom. Please have a look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, there's blood on the rubble near the victim's body. She must have died after hitting her head there. But it looks like she was dragged. I see. Alright then, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Do you have what it takes to take my infallible testimony apart? I mean, if we press enough, yes. I mean, what? Alright. Also for this, so I can finally just press and not have to wait for the text to scroll. Why were you the first person on the scene? To secure the area. It is regulation for a bomb disposal specialist to enter first. In other words, you had the opportunity to alter the bloody writing then, didn't you? Well...
Objection!
Mr. Wright, please don't interrupt. Mr. Tonate is about to give testimony that will show just how wrong your reasoning is. Darn, I think he was just about to say something interesting, too. When I went in and saw the aftermath, well, it was quite a disaster. There was no bloody writing there.
Hold it!
You were able to tell this even with those goggles on? With these goggles, there is no way I could have missed something like that. I can see quite well with them. In fact, I can see every hair on your spiky head. Oh, you have a few grays, Mr. Wright. What? Poor Mr. Wright. You're always working so hard keeping your office together. Wait a minute! I don't have any gray hairs. Just kidding.
Objection!
I object to witness's attempt to prematurely give me gray hair. Mr. Tonate, this court frowns upon untoward comments on the person's hair or lack thereof. I'm sensing a great wave of sorrow coming from the judge. My apologies, Your Honor. May I please continue my testimony? Oh yeah.
Hold it!
Could have written it. If she didn't write it, then who do you propose did? Mr. Justice, of course. Just before dying, he wrote the name of his attacker, Juniper Woods. Final message from your poor subordinate. Poor Mr. Justice, I'm starting to get all misty-eyed. Apollo is not dead, folks. So how can you be sure it wasn't Detective Arm who wrote the message? It is very simple. She struck her head on rubble and died near the courtroom entrance.
Hold it!
You imagine she was thrown back by the force of the blast? A bomb can inflict damage not only from the explosion itself, but also substantial secondary damage from the blast wind. Detective Arm unfortunately hit her head on some rubble. It's stated in her autopsy report as well, caused of death trauma to back of head. Ah, the autopsy report. I'd better take another look at that. Yeah, like, like, impact with a flat object. With a flat object! Now, do you see? Detective Arm could not have written that message. The reason for that being... she was too far away from them.
Hold it!
Isn't it possible she could have crawled to the area of the bloody message? If that were true, then how did she return to the spot near the entrance? Maybe she crawled back after writing it. Hey, did this guy just humph me? Would you like to get down on the floor and give us a demonstration of your theory? Huh? No thank you. The victim's body and the writing are several yards away from each other. There's no way she could reach. Quite the conundrum. That means something is off somewhere. There must be a contradiction. Ah, maybe the body was moved? But that doesn't explain how the blood got onto the rubble. What if that was done by the real culprit after the fact? If that's the case, then something about that might contradict the evidence we have. Okay, it was... autopsy report. You're a terrible liar, Mr. Tonate. Take a look at this autopsy, specifically part about Detective Arm's head injury. Cause of death, trauma to back of head caused by impact with a flat object. Yes, what about it? Now take a good look at the bloody piece of rubble. It's sharp and pointed. Hey, you're right, boss. It is pointy. Just like your hair. That is odd, isn't it? What could be the meaning of this contradiction? I believe it means the victim did not hit her head on this piece of rubble. Blood you see is just another fabrication. Its purpose is to mislead us into thinking the victim died near the courtroom entrance. Are you claiming the culprit moved the victim's body? Oh, that's exactly what I'm claiming. Victim hit her head at some other location. Most likely on the floor or some other flat surface. And this location was somewhere near where the bloody writing was found. In that case, she definitely could have written the message. Your Honor, I have the results of the blood stain analysis. Ah, very good timing. Let's take a look. For instance, reported message was written in Detective Arm's blood. And as the defense claims, only the parts of the message that were added afterwards were written in Mr. Justice's blood. It would appear the defense's assertion is correct after all. Analysis added to the court record. Yes, you did it! You were right, boss. Now I have to drive it home. I have to take a good look at the bloody writing analysis later. Mr. Tonate, it is now apparent that you have told several lies to this court. I hope you have some sort of explanation for yourself. Fine, I will confess. You will? But then why are you so calm? This time, I will tell the truth. Witness testimony. The truth. It is true that Detective Arm wrote my ID number. He very plainly wrote L11015R. I was shocked. I did not detonate the bomb. Detective Arm must have mistaken me for the real bomber. Not wanting to be accused, I moved the body and covered the writing. My bad. I see. So it is your assertion that you merely moved the body, is that it? That is correct. I did not kill Detective Arm. Oh, well, that's all you did, then. Wait a minute. That in and of itself is a criminal act. Glad to see you finally crossed that finish line, Your Honor. Very well, then. Your cross-examination, please, Mr. Wright. The truth. Alright.
Hold it!
So you admit that you actually did see the bloody writing the Detective Arm left. My bad. I should have said so from the outset. And you are sure it was your ID number? I am sure. It was definitely my ID number. That number was assigned exclusively to me by the police department. The number is assigned to my goggles as well. So those funky things were provided by the police department? Although these are special goggles customized by me, personally. Speaking of personalized, these sunglasses of mine were custom made as well. They were specially created to be particularly dark and shiny. Speaking of special, my gavel is made of mahogany. It was custom made as well. It was specially created to make a particularly loud and resounding sound. Wish I had something to brag about. Be all of that as it may, I just want to reconfirm you saw the bloody writing clearly. And it was your ID number? That is correct. My ID number was written in blood on the floor.
Hold it!
Apparently wrote that. L11015R. It was written after the bomb went off in the courtroom? Correct. I didn't know why she would write it, so that sent me into a panic. Sounds like you were in quite a tizzy. If I were in his shoes, I guess it would have psyched me out too. Yeah, imagine coming across the message, "Psychs!" written in blood. If I saw a gasp of pain written in blood, it'd certainly make me gasp. But, oh my god, that's sweet. Hit the pun in his name. Rest assured, Mr. Tonate, I understand how you must have felt. And so you discover your ID number written in blood at the scene, and... that is right, I saw it with my own eyes. It is very clearly said, L11015R. Not detonate the bomb. Didn't you? The victim may have had special knowledge of who the bomber was. I have no idea what thoughts Detective Arm may have had inside her head. It is not like I ever dismantled her mind to check. Mr. Wright, if you have suspicions about the witness, let's see your proof. Evidence is everything in the court of law. Even school children know that. How many years have you been a defense attorney now? Cut me some slack, will ya? Don't feel bad, boss. You just got your attorney's badge back after all. In that sense, you're still more of a beginner than I am. I suppose I should be thankful you're not a licensed psychologist. Mr. Tonate, please continue with your testimony. With pleasure. My ID number was left at the scene, but... Detective Arm must have mistaken me for the bomber. If I'm mistaken, do you mean you had nothing to do with the explosion? That is correct. That is why I was so shocked when I saw my ID number. The victim may have suspected Mr. Tonate for no reason other than the fact that, as the bomb specialist, he was in charge of the bomb. In other words, a false accusation. It's vocational discrimination, I say. I do not support discrimination of any kind. Well spoken, Your Honor. If the victim had been found to have been killed with a gavel, Mr. Blueston over there would probably have pinned the crime on you. He would? Well, that just wouldn't do. Mr. Wright, if you dare try to pin anything on me, I will find you in contempt of court. But I've never even tried to harm a strand of your beard, Your Honor. Well said, Mr. Payne, because I'm so closely associated with bombs. I was afraid I would be prosecuted if anyone saw the bloody writing. I might be accused. You didn't think to clean away the bloody writing. I didn't have time. By the time I found the message, the blood was already dry. Police were waiting just outside for me to secure the room. I still had to move the body. I was in a panic. With no time to spare, I temporarily covered the writing with my case. Didn't you think the police would find it during their investigation? Regulation stipulates only specialists may touch transport cases. Because of the danger, you see. I thought I would clean up the writing once they were finished. My bad. My bad? Does he really think that will just magically smooth everything over? This guy is something else. I don't believe Detective Arm's dying message was just some mistake. It wouldn't wriggle out of this that easily. What did Mr. Tonate see when he first discovered the bloody writing? There has to be a contradiction hidden in his testimony somewhere. Did not detonate the bomb. Mistake me. What is that? I feel like it. Okay, so. Okay, consult. Mr. Wright, I think I have something here. You sensed something wrong with his testimony. That's right. Let me show you which statement I thought was strange. Thanks. That would be a big help. I just have to compare the evidence with the statement she points out. Oops. I had the wrong button. Okay, yeah, so it's this one, but it's just missing file. I just want to make doubly sure that L11015R was really what you saw written in blood. Yes, it is very clearly said L11015R. But that's odd, because that's not what I see.
Objection!
What on earth are you babbling on about now? What, was it you who claimed that the bloody message writing was his ID number in the first place? I think I gotta look at the photo in the bloody writing analysis. Now tell me, what does it really say L11015R? Oh, ew. Something is missing, isn't it? And that something is the final R. What does it mean of this, Mr. Tonate? Oh, right. Now I remember there was no R on the end. It was just a slip of the finger. My bad. I'm back, my beautiful contradiction. Mr. Wright, I'm not so sure it was just a simple slip of the finger. You have something for me, Athena? I sense that he's extremely agitated, almost panicked. No, I couldn't. He doesn't look flustered at all. Does look pretty flustered. Not at all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears it was nothing more than a mere mistake. I don't know. Did he really just make a typo? What about that R? Did Mr. Tonate really see it? Yeah, he saw it. Maybe Mr. Tonate really did see the R. But there's no R anywhere in the bloody writing. What's going on here? Huh? Now I take another good look at the photo. I think maybe... That's it! What is it now, Mr. Wright? Are you trying to imitate Apollo with his cords of steel? I've got it. So that's what happened. A slip of the finger. Is that really all it was? Because I don't think so. At present, Mr. Tonate really did see the letter R. But the photo clearly shows that there is no R. No, Your Honor. Actually, just the opposite is true. The photo shows that Mr. Tonate actually could have seen the R. If you're gonna make that claim, then you better be able to point out what you mean. But part of the photo shows that Mr. Tonate could have seen the R. This right here.
Take that!
Please look here to the right of the 5. Do you see a little bit of red? Oh, I see it! Just on the edge of where the floor is broken up. That's the R that Mr. Tonate saw.
Objection!
It's true that witness wears some very, very odd goggles. But that doesn't mean his eyesight is bad, nor his brain power. A bright little smudge looks like an R to you.
Objection!
What Mr. Tonate saw wasn't that little smudge. There was a hole in the R written there. Before the floor was damaged by the explosion. Oh, well, that explains... Huh? Care to explain what you mean? Because you just proposed that everything happened in the exact opposite order. Yep, because that's the way it really went down. Timing of when the R was written turns everything about this case around. Now then, if the floor was damaged by the explosion, when was the message written? Before. With a bloody message running off the edge of the damaged floor like that? We can only conclude that it was written before the explosion. That's ridiculous! If that were true, it overturns your own premise. That's right. It does. In fact, it turns everything upside down. Victim was not killed by the explosion in the courtroom. She was killed before the explosion ever occurred. Order! Order in the court! What kind of preposterous claim is that? You've forgotten that the victim's body was found at the scene of the explosion?
Objection!
True, but consider this scenario. She was hit on the head and killed before the explosion, or even before the trial began. Her body was subsequently placed in the courtroom ruins after the bombing occurred. That way, it could be made to look like she was the victim of the blast. What? Sounds like we better look into what the victim was doing before the trial. Mr. Payne, did anyone see Detective Arm before the trial? Let's see. According to the police report... here it is. One person saw the victim before the trial. And that person was... Ted Tonante. Oh, wait, what? No one besides Mr. Tonante saw the victim. That appears to be the case, Your Honor. I would now ask the court to recall something. Specifically, Mr. Tonante's words from yesterday. It was when Detective Arm and I were transporting the bomb. Oh my. Mr. Tonante, just before the trial, you were with the victim. I missed the with. I'm like, you were the victim. Like, what? Two of you were together at the scene of the crime, courtroom number 4. Your Honor, the defense requests new testimony from Mr. Tonante. We wish to hear what he has to say about his whereabouts just before the trial. Mr. Tonante, your testimony, please. My testimony, there is no need for it. He's completely unnerved, Mr. Wright. He must have hit the nail on the head. Because all I did was transport the bomb to the courtroom. I didn't saw the applause. God bless this thing! It was only in the courtroom with the victim because of our work. I swear I was transporting the bomb. Oh, transporting the bomb there.
Objection!
You and the victim were alone together at the scene of the crime. In other words, you certainly had the opportunity to commit murder, did you not?
Objection!
Tisk. Do you always leave yourself so open to attacks, Mr. Wright? What now, Mr. Payne? Yes, Mr. Tonante may have had the opportunity to kill Detective Arm, but an important piece of your assertion is missing. What important piece? The murder weapon. What do you claim was used to kill the victim? Mr. Payne has a point. If Mr. Tonante had the chance without a weapon, we can't accuse him of the crime. Well, Mr. Tonante... yes, that's right. I didn't have any sort of thing that could be used as a murder weapon on me. I couldn't possibly have killed Detective Arm. He really have nothing he could use as a murder weapon? What is it, Athena? Just looking over the victim's autopsy report. I'm hoping there's something in here that can point us in the right direction. Well, it does say she died from trauma to the back of the head with a flat object. Yeah, and to inflict that specific kind of injury, all you would need is a flat surface, right? Heavy, blunt object with a flat surface could definitely be our murder weapon. Well, Mr. Wright, can you indicate for the court what was used to kill Detective Arm? I believe I can. Believe being the key word here. You can? Please do so now. What did Mr. Tonante have that could have been used as a murder weapon? Missing remote switch, because it's missing.
Take that!
This must have been the murder weapon. Don't be ridiculous. Ha, you fell right into my trap. So you confirm that this piece of evidence was not the murder weapon? That narrows mechanics down by 1. I hope you don't intend to answer by process of elimination, Mr. Wright. If you do, prepare to see me do this. More of this to you. What? Victim was killed with a blow to the head, so the question is... what evidence is connecting Mr. Tonante could serve as a blunt instrument? I'll ask you again, Mr. Wright. I understand you have... Mr. Tonante, you say you didn't have anything that could be used as a weapon? In fact, you had the perfect thing. What? What the devil are you talking about? You had this? That's the bomb. I thought you were trying to prove that the victim wasn't killed by the bomb blast. The bomb blast, no. But I believe Kenneth's arm was killed with this bomb. Because this is the blunt object that delivered the fatal blow to her head. Oh, God. Here's a color description of Detective Arm's head wound. Trauma to back of head caused by impact with a flat object. We assume this injury was sustained when her head hit the floor. But a blow from any flat side of this bomb would produce the same exact wound pattern. What's with him? It showed me some proof! Where's the evidence I hit the victim with a bomb? He's right. I don't have anything decisive. Did he find any of the victim's blood in the bomb? That would be decisive proof. That's too bad. The bomb is blown to bits. It's long gone. Boom! Game over! Yeah! Ugh. Mr. Wright! Is there really nothing on the bomb in the photo? Really nothing on the bomb in the photo? I don't see any blood or anything. Wait, the timer display is a little broken here. Maybe it broke when it made contact with Detective Arm's head. There's definitely a distinct possibility. But unless we find a fragment with the victim's blood on it, it's not gonna count. I guess you're right. By setting off the bomb, Tsunade managed to obliterate all traces of the murder weapon. What in the world do I do now? Times like this, I've got to change gears and look at things in a different way. Instead of looking for the things he wasn't able to hide, I should be looking for a way to expose the things he did hide. Tsunade murdered Detective Arm before the trial started. And he placed her body in the courtroom after the bomb went off, which means there was something he needed to keep hidden until then. I think I have just the thing. I present the photo that shows exactly what Mr. Tsunade had to hide. Is it the transport case?
Take that!
Take a look at this. Meh. Guilty. My brain is thinking too many steps ahead, I think. I didn't need to keep her until then. I think it's just the thing. Oh, yeah, it's the writing.
Take that!
No? These are what he could have hidden. Oh, right. The missing switch. What? He hid the bomb.
Take that!
No. I'm just gonna go through everything, I guess. Bloody writing? No. Her photo? Your Honor, there's something we have all been overlooking. The murder took place before the trial. Mr. Tsunade would have to hide the body somewhere during the trial. Hey, you're right! If we can figure out where that hiding place was. Exactly. We might be able to find some evidence we can pin him down with. So where could Mr. Tsunade have hidden the body during the trial? Yeah, I was just going 2 steps ahead. Wait. A box big enough for a body? A box that was in the courtroom the whole time. A box nobody would touch if they thought there was a bomb in it. Mr. Tonate? What is it? Do you finally have some decisive evidence to show me? No, you're the one who's gonna show it to me. Again? You heard me. Now show me what's inside the bomb transport case. What? Wait, no, there's no need. Got him now. Just before the trial, you killed the victim with a blunt object. And then you placed her body in the ruins of the courtroom after the bomb went off. Clearly you were trying to make it look like she died in the explosion. Where was the body hidden during the trial? Oh, I hadn't thought of that. The answer is right here. Inside the box, made a thick alloy plating that can withstand any impact. No, that's completely false. If it's false, you should have no objections showing us your transport case. Now, let's open it up and take a look inside, shall we? Let's not. Not if you value your life. What's he up to now? Remain calm and listen carefully. This bomb will detonate in 5 minutes. What? Huh? I repeat, this HH-3000 will detonate in 5 minutes. What's going on? Your Honor, I recommend you adjourn this trial before this bomb goes off. Mr. Tonate, are you threatening me? I am the only one who can disable this bomb. Not want to die, your only option is to listen to me. But Mr. Tonate, didn't you just say that's just a training model to fake to practice on? I did, but I also lied. This is the real deal. This is the HH-3000. But the HH-3000 was used to blow up the courtroom number 4, wasn't it? How do you know it was the real HH-3000 that blew up courtroom number 4? Huh? The bomb that blew up the courtroom was a different one. One that I made. What? Are we to take that as a confession on your part? Take it any way you would like. Just before the trial, I took the HH-3000 out of the stuffed animal and put my own bomb into it. That was the bomb that exploded and destroyed courtroom number 4. Mr. Tonate, please be reasonable. You really expect us to believe a crazy story like that? The HH-3000 is so unique. I had never seen anything like it. It's so unique that I could not replicate the detonation mechanism. So I just had to have it. Besides, did anyone look inside the stuffed animal during the trial? Did anyone check to see if it was really the HH-3000 in there? I must confess, no one opened the stuffed animal to check. Oh, there really is a possibility that bomb was switched on. No, not a possibility, a certainty. I did it. He's had a real bomb with him this whole time. You had better get out of here while you still can. You don't have much time. Order in the court. I'm out of here! It's gonna blow. Run! You 4 are still here? Well, aren't you brave? It just would do for the judge presiding over this court to run? But that horrible explosion the other day. The judge looks like he's about to book it for the nearest exit any second. For Mr. Payne? That is... And he's off. Mr. Wright! What do we do? Pretty pathetic to run now, wouldn't it? The bomb might really go off. Only 3 more minutes, folks. Is that bomb really the HH-3000? What should I do? Stand my ground. Can't run now. Well, it's been fun, but I will be going now. With my dear HH-3000, naturally. Oh, and by the way, I'll advise against having me followed. Even with no remote switch, this bomb can still be triggered manually. If I think I'm being followed, I will detonate it on the spot. Farewell.
Hold it!
You're not going anywhere, Ted Tonate. Oh? Your Honor, there's no reason to be afraid. That bomb is a fake. Are you sure, Mr. Wright? More of your famous bluffing? Even at the risk of your own life? Mr. Wright, none of your bluffing now. Not at a time like this. Lives are on the line here. I'm not bluffing, and I have proof. You do? Yes, of course, Your Honor. It's right here in the photo of the bomb. Clear as day. Proof that Mr. Tanate's bomb is not the real HH-3000. Really? Out with it then, immediately! There's a proof that Mr. Tanate's holding is not the real HH-3000. Is it the cracked display?
Take that!
Display for the timer on the bomb in the photo is broken. Most likely it broke when Mr. Tanate used the bomb to attack Detective Arm. Display on the bomb in front of us is not broken. Oh, you're right. Therefore, this is not the real HH-3000. Mr. Tanate was clearly lying when he said he switched on the bomb in the stuffed animal. Real HH-3000 blew up the courtroom number 4. This bomb is nothing more than a fake, a model used for training purposes. You're not, Your Honor. I will examine the inside of the bomb transport case myself. Yes, please do that, Mr. Wright. No, stop! What is that? Is that a bloodstain? As I expected. Your lies have all been blown to bits, Mr. Tonate. I'm confident DNA analysis of this bloodstain will confirm this Detective Arm's blood. And that those results will conclusively prove that you murdered Detective Arm. How about it, Mr. Tonate? I think you can dismantle this decisive evidence. Dismantle it? You're too late. You missed your chance to run, so now you're out of time. This HH-3000 is about to explode! Don't try to threaten us, Mr. Tonate. I've already proved that your bomb is a fake. It's real! This bomb is real! I tell you, that's why I'm biting the wires with my teeth! I'm grinding my teeth! It's real! Mad Bomber, party of one. There's no time left. It's gonna blow. I have to disarm it. I have to take it apart. I can dismantle anything. I can take it apart. Evidence. I can take apart bombs. I can dismantle it all. Dismantle. I'm not gonna make it. Only one thing left to do. Stop. Made it. Game over. Dismantle attempt failed. It's all over. My life is fallen to pieces. It's all that stupid woman's fault. I was selling bombs and disarmed on the black market. When I tried to take this one, she just had to notice, didn't she? She confronted me in courtroom number 4 that day. That's why I had no choice. Before I knew what I was doing, I hit her. It's all her fault. While I was looking for a place to hide her body, she left a message in her own blood. The trial was about to start, so I didn't have time to clean it up. And now all this! I thought for sure I could discover death with an explosion. That stupid defense attorney started sticking his nose in my business. After my testimony yesterday, with the court number 4 and... I found the kid all up in my bomb transport case. That's what I snuck up behind him and bam! And when the idiot police arrested that little girl, I thought for sure I could put it all on her. Why? Oh, why? Ed Tonante, you are hereby under arrest. Suspicion of the courtroom bombing and the assault of Mr. Justice. Your innocence or guilt will be determined at a later trial. Now then, I see that members of the public have returned to the gallery. One person, however, seems to still be running far, far away. Be that as it may, I will now announce Miss Juniper Wood's verdict. Not guilty. Definitely no brute forcing to get there. Yeah, we still get the same confetti. Court is adjourned. December 18th, 12:31 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 5. You did it, boss! Yeah, I guess we managed to pull it off somehow. So many mysteries cleared up all at once. It was amazing. It just sort of worked out that way, didn't it? That's not the kind of thing that usually just works out. You made it happen. And the way that mean old prosecutor had to out of there, it was great. Mr. Wright, Athena, thank you for everything you did for me. I'm so happy for you, Judy. Now you can go back home from the forest in peace. I hope the both of you will come and visit me there sometime. That'd be nice. Thank you for the invitation. I don't know, Mr. Wright. I'm not so sure you can make it all the way to Judy's house. How high up do you live again, Judy? Around 3,000 feet, I think? What? No forest, that's a mountain! Hey, I've lived at 3,000 feet, what's the problem? Hey, you know, boss, there's something that still bothers me about the case. One little mystery we never got around to solving. Oh, that? Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Is this the unsolved mystery you're thinking about? Remote switch. The remote switch, right? Yeah, I wonder where it disappeared to. Maybe Mr. Tonante just got rid of it somewhere? Yeah, it's a pretty big thing to leave unsolved, though. Well, let's leave it up to the police to find it. For now, we should be celebrating our not guilty verdict. I guess you're right. Hey, I know! Ginny, shall we go report the good news? You know, to that certain someone? Okay. Huh? Her grandmother? No, silly, to Apollo! Oh, right. Well, why don't we all go to the hospital together to see him? Great idea. I bet he's bored out of his mind. Okay. And so the courtroom bombing case came to a close. But the next trial was just over the horizon. There's never a dull moment with so many lawyers in the office, that's for sure. Fellow Justice Athena Sykes and me, Phoenix Wright. Between the three of us, there's no case we can't solve. When our powers combine, we're an unstoppable team. At least that's what I believed. But all of that changed with what Apollo said to us that day. It was something that would put my faith in us to the ultimate test. Date, unknown. Time, unknown. Right, anything, agency.
Sorry, but I'll be taking a leave of absence.
Wait, what do you mean by a leave?
Can you at least give me a reason why?
I can only say that this is something I must settle on my own.
Oh, why, Apollo? Why are you shutting us out?
What happened to you, Apollo? Ever since you put that jacket on, you've changed. And now, for whatever reason, all my mind keeps doing is returning to the day I first met you. We had tackled our first case together, he and I, this past spring. And as we did, I came to know who he is and how he thinks. It was a very peculiar case, one in which the victim was killed by a mythical creature. Whoa, it's fancy! Yay, we did it! So, that wraps up that. I guess we might be going back to the past again? Goody, more past stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So, that wraps up the first phase turnabout countdown. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. If you really enjoyed it, consider supporting the channel. Will support greatly helps with keeping content like this and more. Found links for that in the description below, along with links to me on social media. So thank you again for watching. Thank you again, Capcom Creators, for the code. And until next time, this is Rudy MT signing out. Bye!